Well, I gathered you all here today. This one's going to be a little bit different than the other band camps. I just figured it would be fun to try out, to have this like roundtable discussion, and if you guys like it, maybe we could do it again. All right, so I'm going to introduce you guys before we get started. Jeff Bousquet, you are a podcaster and you are also a fantastic musician. I don't know what I'd call you. Folk, rock, maybe. I don't know. I think we just talked about. I don't know.
Trying.
You're doing very well, man. You're doing very well.
Trying.
No, man. I see you. You got any shows lined up?
Actually, I'm working on that right now.
Yeah.
I was chatting with Heather yesterday about some dates that she might have open at the Jungle, I think, in December. So
yeah, and we're gonna mention you have 2 EPs on Bandcamp right now.
Kind of, yeah. I have 1 EP and then some demos. But,
all right.
But thank you kindly, yes.
Tell us about Dirty Decibels.
Oh, yeah. So I started Dirty Decibels, I think sometime in 2017. And it was, at the time, it was called Dirty Water Decibels. And then I thought that sounded like really lame after a while. But it was like, because I was mainly talking to Boston musicians. And then I brought it back in the middle of the pandemic, being super bored and having the ease of recording over Zoom. And I did another season where I tried to expand beyond just music and talk to lots of different artists and have it just be about kind of conversation podcast about getting your hands dirty, working in whatever passion you're in and making art and design, and talk to people who educate, people who create. Yeah, hoping to bring it back within the next couple of months, working on some new stuff, some new artwork and theme, and lining up some different guests.
I can't wait. I can't wait for season 2 of Dirty Decibels podcast.
Season 3.
Season 3.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. You're right. Season 3. All right. Then we have Michael Graddon, Punk as Folk YouTube channel. This guy reviews albums. He's a vinyl connoisseur. And he's just a guru of all music.
I don't know if any of that was true.
Tell us about your podcast on your YouTube channel, or your review, whatever. I don't know. Was it a podcast? Yeah, right.
So I think you guys know I was like a really bad alcoholic, and I needed some shit to do with my time after I got out of rehab. So I decided to start a podcast, and then I realized I hated my voice, but I also hate getting my pictures taken. So then it just became more of an exercise of like putting myself out there and trying to get used to dealing with fucking being around people and dealing like that, having people see me and hear me, because I didn't have anybody to talk to about the music I like. So I was like, I just put it on the internet and see if anybody responds.
And quite the response, my friend. And then we have Chris Chavez, who's been on this, who's done this a bunch of times. Chris Chavez, and I don't give this gentleman enough credit when I talk to him on the podcast, and I apologize for that, Chris. Chris is a podcast entrepreneur. He has a network, and I'm going to have him list all the podcasts he does. He's the king of content creating. He's getting involved in video stuff. He's also the Henry Miller of music descriptions, because Henry Miller can write 25 pages to describe one thing, and Chris Chavez can, if you give him any kind of music, he will break it down for you just like that.
Oh man.
Also, I want to announce this. He is also the Struggling Artist Podcast social media team now. He's done great things in the 1 week that he's been doing it already. So I've gotten so much responses about social media stuff, and I'm like, yeah, that's all this guy.
All right, that's too kind, man. Way too kind. Yeah, I do way too many shows, that's for sure. I started podcasting about 8 years ago. It grew. We ended up doing one show, and you become kind of addicted to doing it, and you start another one, and then you're like, all right, well, I'm talking about this and I'm talking about this, but I really want to talk about this other subject. Let's start a new show. You know what I mean? It ended up attracting a whole lot of people that kind of came together. And I thought to myself, just create a network, put out a space where everybody can put their shows. And the way I did it was kind of a thing where, I just took care of everything. I took care of the hosting. And at the beginning, I did a lot of the editing and posting for everyone. But, there's no cost if they wanted to be a part of the network, as long as they were cool and there was no drama. And and typically if it wasn't the exact same thing as another show on the network, they could join, you know, and we'd have them on the network. And we grew from 3 podcasts to, I believe there's over 50 on the network now. It got so crazy. And I was, like you said, I'm moving on to video production, and I just started a production company. So it's kind of exciting and nerve-wracking at the same time. But I had to step away from running the network. I actually put somebody else in charge of running it, and they're running it now, and he's doing a really good job of it. But yeah, man, podcasting was my thing. Music's my thing. I mean, I just love it all. I love talking. You know that. I love talking, man. I can't stop.
All right. So yeah. So, and then break down what we're doing.
What we're doing, Bandcamp Friday, man. We're doing this every month. Even in Bandcamp stops giving away their money, right? Isn't that the thing? They give the artists all the proceeds aside from processing fees or whatever the case is. But we're going to do this every month regardless. We're going to get together every month and talk about bands and music that we discovered on the website Bandcamp. We want to push them. We want to tell people to check them out, check out their music. So that's what we're doing this time in this new, fun, exciting way. Roundtable. Yeah,
this is trial by fire, right?
I had to pull back, man, because I'm like, okay, this is a lot of music to listen to. I can't like write out everything, you know. So I have little notes here and there, and it's definitely not going to be as intense as I normally come.
Hey, I didn't know I was on that kind of show. I just enjoyed being thrown a whole bunch of new music. Like that's like the most that I've gotten out of this. Like I can't even, I'm not even going to be good with coming up with like critiques or descriptors, but it was just cool to like, oh shit, I never heard of some of these bands and they're great. So thanks for that. 'Cause that's super rad. It was just fun to have an excuse to listen to new stuff.
We always plug these same 2 albums before we get into the meat of this, the meat and potatoes of this kind of style podcast. One is Punk with a Purpose, which helps benefit the Cholangiocarcinoma Foundation. It's a super rare cancer. Damaged Heart Records, our friend Scotty Saints put out this compilation. It's got fantastic bands on it. And the other one is the Benefit for Bueno, which Jeff, you are on that album.
Yeah.
That's a 33, I believe, track compilation to help with Will Good from the Old Edison, who was in a car accident back in April or May, I think.
Yep.
So, but yeah, Jeff is featured on that. So we got another degree of separation there for that one. But you guys want to get into it? You ready to get into this?
Let's do it.
All right. So how did we do it again? I forgot. I gave all the rules to this and I don't even remember.
Are we just going around like we'll all say local first and go and just kind of go that route, or are we going to go through our lists for like how do you want to do it?
Yeah, let's do it that way. That works.
Go around, yeah.
Go around, yeah. Everyone.
My notes are not set up for that.
What are your notes set up for? What are your notes set up for? We can go that way.
At least your notes are set up, man. I mean,
my notes were set up by a person. It's fine. It's on an iPad. I can make it work.
Yeah, I'm just reading off my phone. So.
You know, I actually did that too because I listened to a lot of this while driving.
Pages and pages. No, I'm just kidding.
Look at that, Forrest.
Yeah. All right. Well, I mean, you know what? Let's try it this other way. We'll go through everybody's thing. How about that?
Let's do it.
And Michael, we'll start with you since you're the one that has the notes set up that way.
Oh, fuck.
So let's go to we're going to go to your list.
For local, I picked a band from Toledo, Ohio, where I live. Shitty Neighbors, people I know. It's just that basic Rust Belt punk. I see basic is the worst descriptor, but it's exactly what you think you're getting when you hear that. It's a mix of melodic punk, hardcore, and emo inspired lyrics, thundering drum, and strange yelling. There's singing there too, but it's all that like super urgent strained sound. I don't know how else to describe it. And because Toledo's like if you've never been here, it's a big city with like a small town vibe. Fucking everybody knows everybody somehow. And there's a song on there named her middle name is Marie. I picked this band just because I'm pretty sure I know who the fuck they were talking about.
That's awesome. I dug this album. I really liked this a lot. I put a note on here that I'm going to pick this up for sure on Bandcamp Friday. And you're right. I like the vocals too. It's very melodic, but it still has the shout singing quality. You know, there's shouting happening, but melodic, and it sounded really good. I liked it. Enjoyed it.
I put a note for this one just saying that like I feel like they should be known more. You know, I don't know how popular they are, but I never heard of them. So it was, to me, I enjoyed this album. So
I've lived here in this town for nearly 10 years, and I heard of them when this album came out.
Wow. Yeah, they're good. I like them.
I just wanted to say that I don't have a note for this band, so I got through like 2 to 3 of everybody's. Just for
that's
the
fine.
record.
That's fine. No. Just chime in when you.
I have notes about Debt Neglector, so I guess we'll get there. Sorry, I don't want to sound like a
No. No, I don't have notes on all of them either. It's just that happened to be one of the ones I did. All right, what was your next one, Michael?
My next one was my non-local. The Last Mile, Respect the Frequency from Montreal, Quebec. I was going to say Canada, but I guess Canada's like broke into smaller pieces. Who knew? This is a faith move because as of now, I've not heard this album. I've heard 2 of the singles from it. They're really good, and everything the band had done previously, I genuinely enjoy. But they are on Rad Girlfriend Records, who I've been digging like their whole catalog. Mike Yerg's on there, the Raging Nathans are on there. So I trust that the rest of the album's going to be good. If in 5 days, 7 days, that isn't true, don't blame me.
Don't at me, bro.
Yeah. Blame everybody else.
Yeah, I dug these 2 tracks too. I liked them. They were fast punk. You know, they had that hardcore kind of tempo. I enjoyed it.
I have high energy punk with introspective lyrics, and that's how their previous stuff was. So I expect more, being that those are the 2 that they released. So we'll see.
Would you say it's Dead Girlfriend Records? Is that the name of that?
Rad Girlfriend.
Rad Girlfriend.
Yeah, from Dayton, Ohio.
Okay, cool. No, I'm gonna check out that whole catalog for sure.
And I'm stealing Dead Girlfriend Records now.
That's what I thought you said. Dead
starting that label right now.
God damn it.
Dead Girlfriend would be like a super good hardcore label.
Yeah.
All I wrote down was Bandcamp only allowed me
it's too early for this.
All I wrote down was Bandcamp only allowed me to listen to 2 songs, but I dig it. That's the thing about Bandcamp. Like, I don't know if like they're fucking up or if I'm fucking up or if it's just the way it is. You know what I mean?
I think it's the artist, right? Like the artist decides how many songs they're going to release at a time.
Yeah, and that's awesome. That's I just didn't know they would put like the whole album up there and then only give you a couple. You know what I'm saying? Like I have like I said, I've had beef with this Bandcamp app forever. You know, I just have I'm happy you're allowed to purchase things through the app now, but I still don't think you can buy anything that has like, if they have physical media, I don't think you can buy it through the app yet. So I'm hoping
I've had no problem with that.
All right, I'm a fuck up. I don't know.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I guess I just usually do it on the browser sometimes, like even on my phone.
It's just easier through the browser, you know?
Yeah, I mean I guess so in a certain sense, but also not.
I actually posted my list and got a message from Trev that was like, dude, are you picking albums that aren't even out yet? But they will be.
Yeah, I couldn't find you. We'll get to that one too. I was like, where is this thing? Oh man, that's awesome.
This single, I definitely cheated because I picked an EP and it was just something I'd run across the night before. The band is called Radar from New York City. So if you go to look for them on Bandcamp, type Radar NYC. It's 3 songs with this, I call it a garage sound, like super heavy distorted guitar with a bunch of clean cymbals. And then I don't want to use the word strained again, but that the female vocals that are, I don't have a good word for it. Intense. Like They're
Oh yeah.
like almost piercing female vocals, and I've been really digging that sound. So it was either them or another band that I guess I'll say for my honorable mention.
I dug this band. I thought they were good too, but was it just me? It felt like there was like a lo-fi quality to it, right? Like I don't know if it was how they recorded it or whatever, but there was this kind of lo-fi sound, and I dug it. Like it had that garage rock sound to it.
That's why I called it garage rock, because it sounds
Yeah.
like they recorded it in my garage.
Yeah, and I dig that. I love when music sounds raw. You know what I mean? And not that when super polished albums don't sound good, but man, when it sounds like you're in the room with them while they're creating it, I'm all for it. I loved it.
Punk is, also feel like punk is a genre that just can lend itself really well to that gritty kind of lo-fi sound. You know, if you're gonna pick a genre, like punk is probably one of the best ones to just have it be kind of raw and fuzzy, you know. It doesn't always have to, it doesn't really have to sound clean and polished. It kind of just adds to the character of it, you know.
Everything, I'm right on board with that. Garage rock at its finest. That was my one-liner for that one. X Factor.
Then the X Factor, which I'm super excited about, comes from Orlando, Florida. The band is Neglector. The album is Dirty Water. It is not out yet. It releases November 5th, Bandcamp Friday. All proceeds that they make from the sales of the album go to the Flint Kids Fund and the Sylvester Broom Empowerment Village to help families that were affected by the contaminants in the water in Flint, Michigan. I don't know if anybody's ever lived in a city where they couldn't drink the water. I did for 2 days, and it's fucking horrible.
Wow.
So to imagine that being a systemic issue that they had to deal with. This isn't a faith move, because I reached out to the band, and they were nice enough to provide me with a SoundCloud link to listen to the whole thing. There are 3 singles out now that are super good political punk, but the rest of the album is way better than the 3 singles they have out. It's aggressive politically charged lyrics. Aggressive politically charged lyrics lead a thundering charge of in your fucking face instrumentation. Like, they sound a lot, and I hate comparing bands to other bands, but they take a lot of the elements that made my favorite band, Anti-Flag, work, and they threw them in there. You have those screaming harmonies, just the thundering drums, rad bass lines that don't get hidden under the mix, and those yelling choruses, like that shit that you can't wait to yell from the pit. Like, you just want to be a part of it. That's how I felt listening to this album. Anti-Flag is my favorite band. Bad Religion is my second favorite band. And after this album drops, I'm pretty sure Neglector is going to finish out my trinity. They're that good. In the last song, Bad Faith, I just fucking love it. Like, I can't wait for everybody to hear that song. I don't know. I think maybe it's a little too controversial, is why they didn't put it as one of the singles, but it's really well produced. It's topical. I love that song.
My notes were the quietest band I ever heard.
Yeah.
I just couldn't find it, so I didn't get a chance to listen to. I didn't even listen to like the band. I was like, where's this band? Let me just hear something else, and I couldn't find it.
Yeah,
unfortunately,
I couldn't find it either.
But I'm looking forward to checking it out.
I was able to hear it. So the 3 singles are the ones that you can hear, right? Those are the only.
Correct.
Because it would only because I noticed it would only let the same thing. It would only let you listen to like 3 of the tracks. But I dig that band. I've heard of that band before because they play Fest, and they play Fest a lot, I think, and possibly Pooza Fest too. So I've definitely seen their name on those bills a bunch. And I don't remember if I've actually caught them in person, like when I've been there, but I did check out these 3 tracks and I liked it a lot. They also, I feel like, have a little bit of that lo-fi gritty sound to it.
Yeah.
And they also reminded me, I don't know, maybe it was just the psychological effect of the name, but I do feel like they could easily like kind of be a Boston band. They have that like aggression in like the feel of the music too, which I also dug the kind of like, they had some weird like kind of melody shifts in some of the vocal lines that like almost remind me of like kind of 90s like grungy stuff like a little bit, which was,
Yeah, a little
kind of
bit.
cool. That first track, Dirty Water, has like it's like a Presidents of the United States kind of like vocal shift in it, which is a very strange reference, a very
Interesting.
like random reference, but like that's what it reminded me of, to be honest.
So now I'm realizing why I didn't find them, because I was looking up debt collectors and not debt neglectors. So I'm like, why can't I find this band, man? now I see debt neglector. I'm gonna have to check this out.
Yeah, the way you two both described what you've heard from them, I'm just gonna blind faith buy it next week, or whenever. Yeah, it's next week, right? Next Friday. Yeah. And I'm just gonna buy it and then listen to it after I buy it. Like,
And I guess like if you're like me and you have to have everything on vinyl, they do have a vinyl. If you purchase it that way though, only 10% of the proceeds go to the charities. So if you purchase it from their Bandcamp, all the proceeds go to the charities.
yeah, I'll probably buy
throwing it
both.
out there.
I'll end up buying both for sure. Jeff, you said something I just want to touch on real quick. Jeff, you said it had that Boston sound, right? That's a huge thing. Like I hear that in a lot of bands from the West Coast. I'm like, man, they could plug in right here and be just like they were from fucking, this area. Like,
Maybe that means we have an inflated sense of like ego about our music here or something. But I mean,
I ride hard for our
when
music.
you hear a
here.
band that's like just pissed, you're like, oh, like they could easily be from here. Everybody from here is pissed.
The thing is, like I think, like, in the grand scheme of music, right? I feel like our area gets cut short a lot. Like they know, like the big bands, and that's it. You know what I'm saying? So like, but to hear these sounds and like, I totally understood what you said without even hearing this band, but because I've felt that from other bands before. Chris, Michael, is that something that happens in other cities? Like, if you hear something, can you be like, wow, that sounds like they're from here?
Yeah.
I would have to say Buffalo, Buffalo feels like, and more recently I've been getting more into a lot of the local stuff here, is it's almost a melting pot. You're hearing so many different types of influences, and so it feels like I can hear a punk band here and then an alternative band or a pop punk band, and everyone has a slightly different sound, and I can't hear something else and say, hey, that sounds like it came from Buffalo. You know what I mean? I know what you mean by Boston though. And that's the thing. There's this quality in, I don't know, the way the music's delivered, the attitude, maybe even the tone of what's coming out of Boston.
Exactly. Yeah.
Or the area, but Buffalo has got this kind of everything. There's all kind, everyone's got everything as well. But when you're looking at specific styles of music, it feels like everything is influencing the types of punk and rock that's coming out of Buffalo right now.
Michael, what about you?
Yeah, I definitely mentioned it before, that whole Rust Belt punk sound. Hardcore was huge out here when I was a kid. Actually, it was huge in Buffalo as well when I was a kid.
Yeah.
So you get a lot of that influence, and it just feels like people are mixing that into punk almost. Instead of going more aggressive, they're trying to calm it back down. I know
because we're all getting old.
A lot of people are gonna think that like calming it down into punk is not really a thing, but it is. And but yeah, I agree with the Boston sound. I mean, I love the Boston sound. I have ties there. So, but you guys just did it so well in it. I don't want to take anything away from it, but it got promoted so well. Like you had some big bands that came out, and now everybody's trying to sound like those bands. So you get it all over the place.
Yeah,
but there's a sincerity to the Boston sound too. Like, I don't think that anybody not from there does it as well as the people who are from there.
Yeah, I got you. Yeah.
Yeah, sometimes it's like not even the sound, it's like the attitude that comes along with the sound that you kind of get a vibe for,
Yeah, for sure.
But I was gonna say, I'm not really familiar with Buffalo specifically, but I do know that in general there was that sort of New York hardcore sound that was always very like talked about and sort of noticeable as being like slightly different from Boston hardcore or like Midwest hardcore or whatever. Like that New York hardcore was the whole thing for a while. So
Michael, I'm gonna have you save your honorable mention. We'll hit the honorable mentions at the end with everybody.
The end. Okay.
So, who wants to go next? I mean, I'll go if no one else wants to.
Go for it.
All right. So, my local band is out of Fitchburg, Massachusetts. They're called Damnation. I saw these guys play like 2 months ago down at Ralph Steiner in Worcester. They played the same night Michael Caine and the Morning Afters played, and Radio Compass played. And these guys, they played like in between them. Phenomenal. I was mad at myself for not knowing that I had not knowing them prior to that. The album I picked was the Equinox. You could take this band, and I feel like you can plug them into any like era of music, and they'll fit in. Does that make sense? Any era of rock and roll, and they'll fit in. Does that make sense?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So
Absolutely.
they've got this like this whole vibe going, man. I don't know. And the vibe is just like, I was just like, every song I could be like, oh man, that could be like an 80s song, or that. And then the next one, I'm like, that could be like a 70s rock. Like, I don't know. They just have this vibe about them. I totally dig them. I'm going to eventually reach out to them and see if they want to come on the podcast, because I can't not talk about this band anymore.
I put that this album bounces from punk to hard rock to pop at times. And with 14 tracks, there's a lot to dive into. And chances are there's a tune in there for everyone, because they have a variety of sound throughout the entire album. But there's still a quality that you could tell it's this band. Like this is their tone. This is their sound, right? So they're not too schizophrenic, but it's there. Like you said, there's all different things happening in this album, all kinds of music happening in this album.
I thought they were they had like a very straightforward, I described it as kind of like a punk and roll sound, but also just very straightforward. And I'm like stoked that you put this, because I honed in on everybody's local, like especially, also because I didn't know where everybody was from either. But like I bummed that I slept on this band, because like I'm definitely stoked that I heard them. They're really good. And I also know one of the guys who I looked at their album credits, and Zach Bloomstein, who is a recording engineer that I worked with briefly when I used to work for Bergston. He was one of the assistants on the album. So I saw that on there, and I was like, oh, sweet. I know that guy.
Franklin knows them pretty well too, I think.
Yeah, they recorded it at Mad Oak too, and that's a great studio. And sonically, the mix sounds really good. The recording sounds really good too.
My notes look like Chris's. I have Skinnerd, glam rock, butt rock, but then I put like, I love The Worst of You. That song, The Worst of You. It's just like unrepentant hard rock with this tiny, like graceful piano playing in the mix, and it's beautiful. Like, I love that song.
Yeah. See, all right. So I'm going to bring Michael and Chris. I'm going to bring all three of you guys. Whenever I do anything, I'm just going to bring you guys and be like, hey, what am I listening to right now? Like, what is this? You know, because sometimes I just can't fucking say the words. Like, and that's been a thing about me for my entire life. Like, I've never been able to express myself and blah, blah, blah. But sometimes with everything about these guys, I don't know. I just dug and I got to see them perform at a show that I'm pretty sure Jeff was supposed to go to. But
I am bummed I didn't make it out to see because I've never seen Radio Compass, and I really, really want to see them.
They were awesome. They're awesome live. So yeah, all right. So that was definitely my local pick. I was excited to put them on this list, for even though the album's from 2019, they're still like playing shows and stuff, so it's not like they're not a thing anymore, you know. My non-local album is the 2006 album On the Road by Brutally Frank. They're out of Joplin, Missouri. I learned about this band through Katie, who punk rock poet. Her name's Katie. She actually supported the podcast over on the Patreon. One time, the first time I ever went on Instagram story and said, give me bands. I want to hear new things. She threw this one at me, and it hit me. These guys are hard. Like, they're like psychobilly meets blue collar punk rock is what I wrote. And it has this Midwest, like cold winter fucking feel to it. Now, we have cold ass winters here too in the New England area, but like it's a different vibe than this. Like, I don't know. I had this like being out in the middle of a fucking field, freezing my ass off, being angry at the world kind of vibe from this band.
Yeah, I can see that.
This was my favorite band that somebody else picked. I made a joke on Instagram a few weeks ago about wanting to start like a folk core band. This is rockabilly core. Like, that's all I could think of. I messaged you and was like, I can't tell if it's hardcore kids that decided they wanted to do rockabilly or rockabilly kids that decided they wanted to do hardcore, but it's fucking awesome. Like, this band blew me away. And you're right about this Midwest winters. Like, it's so much colder out here since I moved. There's like a sad desperation in the air.
Works its way into music. It's that misery,
yeah, for sure,
makes for great art. It's terrible, but it does.
I put that I like the tune Fast Eddie. I love the intro. It has this very like spaghetti Western feel to it. You know what I mean? And then it starts chugging along and becomes like this like locomotive style rock. And I'm a huge fan of the vocals, that whiskey cigarette packed vocals. You know what I mean? Sounds like he was gargling with razor blades. That's exactly, I loved it. I thought this was great too.
Oh, I didn't make it into this one, guys, and now I'm pissed. No. Like, this sounds so great.
Oh, it's so good, dude.
They've got this thing, and maybe Michael and I were talking about it. Chris, maybe you can chime in. I don't know if they've got a fucking spoons player or that dude is slapping that bass so goddamn hard it creates a different sound. It's. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. I hear what I know what you mean. I heard something. There's something.
Or if the drummer's like turning around and just beating his drums against a fucking like guardrail. I don't know what the fuck that sound is.
Yeah, it's almost amazing. Like a combination. It sounds like a combination of how I don't know how loose he's got his snare tuned, right? But then maybe it's picking up on the strumming of the actual pick on the strings. You know, sometimes it picks up, you know, and you can hear that.
Yeah, they have the high end mix.
Oh, dude.
Yeah. Michael, what were your thoughts on that? Because you and I talked about it. We couldn't figure out if it was like spoons or what.
And you brought it up as I was listening to them, and I hadn't quite picked it up yet. And now every fucking song, it's there. And I just imagine like one dude off to the side of the stage with like, you know, not like regular spoons, like the big ass metal spatulas, and just his hand all bloody and his leg all bloody from racking those things so hard. Like, that's all I can think. I don't know what it is.
Brutally frank, if you hear this, reach out. We need to know.
Yeah, please let us know.
I know
if you can still type.
I know
break down that mix.
I know what Jeff's gonna listen to later. He needs to know what this is. Like,
that's what I said, man. That's the best part about this. Like, I've got this whole list, even the ones I didn't make it to, that I can dive into now. So,
oh, for sure. All right, so my single I picked. We've mentioned this gentleman before on the show, Dave Strong. He's out of Maine. He has a new. He's also he plays with the Hellbound Hitmen. That's the band he's in. So, but he does some solo stuff, and his first two singles that he put out were fucking awesome. And then recently he put out the Nightcrawler via Laptop Records, Bandcamp. Yeah, this is like a I don't know, like just rock and roll, like with emphasis on the roll. You know, I think, you know what, Jeff, you had you when you talked to Mike Kane one time, you've talked to him a couple times on your show. One time he was talking about that rock and roll and how it kind of got taken out of the equation for a lot of bands. It's just rock, you know, and he, you know what I'm saying? This song emphasizes that, like, it's rock and roll, and it's got like a rockabilly twist to it.
Yep.
All my bands kind of have this weird, like, reoccurring sound in it, which was weird.
Definitely. They definitely did.
That wasn't by design. That just happened. That was just a natural occurrence. But this single, Nightcrawler, definitely go pick it up. I'm can't wait to see more of his stuff. I want to see the Hellbound Hitmen play too. I want to see them live. I think that'd be a great show. Dave Strong, the Nightcrawler. You can get it off the Laptop Records Bandcamp page.
I liked it. I dug this tune. I wrote down that this feels like a cool Ride Into the Sunset type tune. Like, it was just like, I could, in my head, I'm out west and I'm riding and the sun's going down in the background in my rear view and this tune's just playing. You know what I mean? It just sounded, I don't know. I liked it. It had a vibe. It was an atmosphere. It had an atmosphere, this song. I really liked it a lot.
I liked it too. I I had my one note for this one was have you heard Matt Charette, Trev?
No.
Have you listened to Matt Charette? Oh,
No.
damn it. Well, he's a local artist here, and my note was, it sounds like if Matt Charette and Diablo Gatto had a baby.
Yeah.
It's because Matt Charette's kind of this like kind of gritty rock and roll, you know, like Americana sounding, you know, local artist, and that's what it kind of reminded me of. But yeah, it also had that kind of rockabilly / rock and roll kind of gritty sound to it. Yeah, I dug this a lot. I was super into this track. I'm gonna definitely listen to this dude and his band.
The Hellbound Hitmen are nothing
Yeah.
like solo stuff, by the way.
Oh, they don't sound like that at all. They
no,
don't sound like
no,
that
no,
at all?
no. Hellbound Hitmen's like psychobilly, like straight up psychobilly.
Okay, well,
they're good.
I'm still gonna listen to it though.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, no, his he's got 3 singles out, and like, and even though the first ones, like, they were kind of like more like that beach rock, like Chris, you and I talked about that one episode. Like, it's got that, you know, like that
Almost like surf,
Like a
surf,
surf, yeah,
guitar.
Yeah. And then but this one was different than those two, but it still has that soul, that rock and roll vibe to it.
I legit can't say enough about how talented this dude is. Like, he was somebody I'd never heard of before meeting you guys, and he's just the nicest dude ever.
Oh, Dave's
Like,
the best. Yeah.
And we have some things in common. So every once in a while we'll like message each other on Instagram or whatever. So he sent me a copy of this before he had released it, and it blew my socks off because it was so much different than, again, that surf rock he had done on the first 2.
Mm-hmm.
I love that there's like 52 seconds of pure instrumental at the beginning of this song that builds, and it just creates an atmosphere for the rest of the song. I actually recorded the Halloween episode of my show like 3 days ago, but I knew we were doing this today, so I was gonna put him in it, but I didn't. I saved it for this because I'd rather him get the extra money from Bandcamp Friday because I want to hear the rest of his album.
Yeah, I can't wait to see what else he does. And I think he was on Jeff Palmer's last album too. I think he played guitar on that. I could be wrong. Don't hold me to that, but I'm pretty sure I thought I said something about that.
When he sent me the single for Little Girl, the vinyl, he included, he's on this band too, the Labor Pains. I actually don't have a CD player, so I had to rip it to listen to it, but it's really good too.
Yeah.
He just does a ton of good work.
That's awesome. All right, so my X Factor. I usually don't pick band. I don't even know how popular this band really is, but they got a lot of downloads on like Spotify and stuff. I love them. I fell into them while listening to either an old Edison radio on Spotify or Coffin Salesman radio on Spotify. I don't remember which one I happen to be listening to, but the band is Bridge City Sinners. They played Thursday night. They played in Boston or Cambridge, and I'm pissed off.
Oh, damn it.
I'm pissed off that I couldn't go. My friend was like, "Hey, do you want to go see this band with me?" And she's like, "You probably never heard of them." And she told me who it was, and I was like, "Ah!" You know, like I was angry. It's like, I'm like, "I love them." And she's like, "You know them?" I'm like, "Yeah, I do." Like, I don't know them, but I know who they are. Anyway, Bridge City Sinners, and the album is Unholy Hymns, and I think that's what they're touring on right now too. So I'm so like. Anyway,
it would be a great bill with Coffin Salesman. There would be a fantastic bill with Coffin Salesman.
Oh, hell yeah. And like, you throw in like the other side of things, like throw in like a Tiger Man Well with that.
And this time of year too.
Yeah, I know. Actually, they're going on tour with the Drowns out on the West Coast, and I'm fucking mad about that too, because I love the fucking Drowns. So yeah, this album, my X Factor reasoning for. Oh, Michael, did we ever ask you why you picked your X Factor?
I don't know. But I picked it because it's a charity album that goes to good causes, and like I said, they're my 3rd favorite band right now.
Yeah, all right,
like,
fair enough. Yeah. So the reason why my reason for picking this X Factor was it's Halloweeny, but like, and I realized this is gonna be on November 1st, or the 1st, so it's not gonna be a Halloween album by then. But it's good anyway. It's got evil swing, dark folk, like however you want to put this band. Everything's just well put together. They sound awesome. Her voice is phenomenal. Even when like she's got like this little like screaming hardcore thing going on towards the end of the album, it's still good. Oh man, like these guys, like I just want to go out and like do witch shit. You know what I'm saying? Like when I listen to this, like I want to go, like it's fucking crazy. It's crazy. It is the perfect style of music for this time of year. Yeah, and I don't know. I just, like I said, I heard them a few months ago, and I can't get enough of them. I cannot get enough of them. They have on their Bandcamp, you can get their digital album, and then you can follow the link to their website for the pre-sale for Unholy Hymns. Yeah, that is something I already pre-ordered.
I'm new to this. I'm late to the game on Bridge City Sinners. I'd not heard of them until recently. And then when I started listening, I was like, I dig this, because I mean, I like all kinds of music.
You're a horror head too, so
yeah. But also like that bluegrass folk style that they kind of incorporate as well. I put in here that when I was listening to this, I felt this is almost like speakeasy music, like or saloon, like you're sitting in a saloon, in the old days, and they're in the corner playing music, and this is what it sounded like. Totally dug it. I was supposed to go see them in Rochester here recently, and I wasn't able to get out there, which totally sucks, because the more I listened to this, I was like, man, I'm really digging this, man. I love this. I love the Americana, the instruments, the fiddles, the banjo. I mean, I'm all in. I'm all in for this.
I wrote my note was spooky folk goodness.
Yeah.
Spooky folk is exactly how I would put it. They sounded like, I was like, oh, like they sound like they're from Salem, maybe. Like if they were from here, they'd be a Salem band. And like, yeah, that they would. I'm bummed that they came through that just the other day, and I missed out on that. That would have been cool to see. I bet you they put on like a fun live show too.
Yeah.
I could just imagine it just being like a fun band to watch live, like playing in kind of a dark venue like O'Brien's, or
they played the Middle East. They played the Middle East.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
The middle. Yeah, that like I bet that was an awesome show. I would definitely go see them.
Now, have you heard of them before?
No, this was the first time I heard of them. So thank you.
This is what this is all about. This is why we do this.
Let's have an exercise in how many fake subgenres we can come up with for one band. Because I am not new to the Bridge City Sinners. I wrote Blood Burlesque.
Yeah, it's great.
Yes, dude.
And I'm gonna use my time to just profess my undying love for Libby Lux, like that voice, and seeing her play and play that mandolin. Like I have a thing for weird instruments, so if you throw, I guess a mandolin's not that weird. Flog and Molly's been doing it forever, but you throw like a weird instrument in there, and I'm all in. I love the Bridge City Sinners. I was really bummed I also didn't get to see them when they were on tour with Days and Days.
So I guess we can all agree that we all fucked up by not seeing them live.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
So all right, that was my list for now. I'm glad you guys enjoyed what I put out there. All right, Chris, Jeff, you guys want to do paper, rock, scissors, or you just want someone just want to get into it?
I want to join in just so I can play a game.
Zoom.
I'll jump in, dude. I'll do mine.
All right, yeah, go for it.
Let's do it. All right, my local is a band out of Buffalo I had never heard of until Bandcamp. So I've said it before, that I love the fact that there's this feature on Bandcamp that you can look up cities, even if they don't list them. You can look them up and see, as long as the artist is putting that city or a roundabouts, you're gonna find them. So I found this band on there. They're called Mallwalkers. The name of the album is called Do Something Drastic. Now on Bandcamp, you can scroll and get a picture of the artists. So a lot of times I do that. I'll take a look to see, what does the artist look like? What does the band look like? And holy crap, there's like 9 people in this band.
Wow.
My notes when I'm listening to this album was that we have male, female vocals that complement each other well. This is very new wave punk rock. There's tinges of blues and soul in it. For me, it's just 16 tracks of just really good music. Sometimes it's quirky, but it's always high energy, and it's the kind of music that'll get you moving. Like I love rock. I love punk rock. I do, and I gravitate to that a lot. But I also like to kind of mix it up and see what else what else is out there, right? So for me, this was just different enough where there was, like I said, there's new wave to this, and if you're a fan or not, it works here for me. At least for me, it works. I mean, I really dug this album a lot, and I think people should check them out. And I'm definitely looking for them when they're out here live.
If the B-52s were a garage rock band, it would be this band.
Yeah,
this is like 70s groovy rock. Like I was into it. I'm not gonna lie, I was into it.
I loved like the gritty. Nice.
What does that say? I can't even see.
This is B-52s.
B-52s. Yeah.
We're playing Jeopardy.
I loved the gritty vocal sound and the horns. I wrote horns with like horns. Big exclamation points on my notes. There were some similarities to the band that I chose for my X Factor, and I was like digging that, and then I was really digging the horns and the mix of sounds on this record. Like, they're really cool.
I absolutely love this record. I've been really getting into the sounds that were popular before I was like old enough to appreciate music. And this to me sounds like that. Like I said, the B-52s meet indie rock, like, and just a fresh take on that older sound that makes it new for us. Well, me anyways.
Yeah. Oh, we talked about this before. I
listened to a lot of shitty music growing up, though.
We talked about this before. It seems that there's a lot of the older styles and sounds of music that's kind of finding its way back into more mainstream stuff, which is cool, because one of the things I said before was like, there's no rules. Like, who said in the 80s synth had to stop, or who said, you know, grunge had to stop mid 90s or whatever it is? Like, if it sounds good, or if you can do it well, or put a fresh take on it, why not, you know? Yep. So that was my Buffalo band Mallwalkers. Next, we're moving to non-local. We're going to LA. The band is called Broken Baby. The album is Late Stage Optimism. Again, I wanted to kind of do something slightly different, not to, you know, it's not hardcore, it's not skate punk. They bill themselves as disco glam post-punk, and I couldn't say it better. That's what this sounds like. This sounds like 80s pop rock. It's, you know, there's tinges of the blues in there. There's a little bit of punk. It's a duo. Amber Bollinger and Alex Dazen are the artists that are Broken Baby. This for me is one of these kind of like, it's got great energy. It's a lot of times when I listen to music, I think to myself, you know, is this something I can listen to in the car? Because I love just when I'm driving and having just good music on in the car, you know what I mean? And this is something I feel like I could throw on in the car and just on the interstate, turn it up and have a good time, you know?
I got like, yeah, I definitely got that pop vibe from it. I wrote bubblegum pop. That was my note to it. That's what I got for you.
I had like fast, kind of sassy punk kind of vibes with like the lyrics and the vocals and stuff like that. Like,
I like that sassy,
like similar to like, like the Runaways or something like that kind of vibes in there. I dug it. Yeah.
I had party music. Like, this is just music that is fun to listen to and will get you hyped to do. It reminded me a bit of like Andrew WK's style.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Just like, it's not too serious. It's just
right.
Fun music to turn on and have a good time. Fuck some shit up. I should have asked how many times I'm allowed to swear on a podcast.
you
Millions.
Cuss as much as you want. You know, there's something to say about party music too, where you said party music, because like if you go to a party, like the music, even if you go out to a club, the DJ, like the music is what the vibe is. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So you want something like this at a party. Like, you don't want to all be sitting around like listening to like angry music and shit at a party, because then something's gonna happen. You know, it changes the vibe. You know, it's like a DJ who closes out with like "Move, bitch, get out the way." Like, what are you doing? Like, you want a fight happening? Because, you know what I mean. You don't close the night out with that. You wind it down. This is a perfect vibe album.
Yeah.
You know?
Somebody just got himself uninvited to my party.
All right, let's see. The single I chose now, the band is called La Luz, and they're from Seattle. The song is called In the Country. Again, this was something I was just kind of scrolling around looking for some new stuff to listen to. And, you know, I do what I do on Bandcamp when I'm just looking at stuff. Obviously, the main thing that grabs you aside from the genre you're looking for, right, will be the artwork or what the album art is. So this was just one where I was just, let me see what this is. Oh, it's a single. Let me check it out. And I dug it, man. There was this, I wrote spaghetti Western, and I don't know why I'm writing that so much this time around, but it's the spaghetti Western / surf effects on the guitar. The vocals were kind of ethereal. It's 3 ladies in this band, so it's just the harmonization was so nice. And this track is chill. Like this is more kind of relaxed, chill, have a nice afternoon sitting on the couch with the cat on your lap kind of music. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I didn't have any notes. Sorry.
Trent's like, it's not mine.
I didn't have a note for this one either, but I love the idea of playing kind of a little bit of like a Russian roulette game with like album artwork. So like, just if you pick a whole bunch of records, like find the one that the album artwork stands out the most to you on and just like give it a listen. That's actually kind of like a really cool exercise, I feel like, because I dig really cool album artwork. I've said this on my podcast a few times about my favorite is photography. I love like when people do cool shit with photography on their records, because growing up, all the bands that I liked and listened to, their jackets and their liner notes and stuff like that just always tended to have photos. And so that was just kind of a thing I connected to. And I love the idea of being like, just kind of vibing with the artwork that they chose to represent the album. So I think that would be actually kind of a cool thing to try. It's just like try out some different bands based on like who has like cool album art and see if you like it.
Oh yeah, you'd be surprised, right? You come across some gems sometimes. Your next favorite artist.
We might have to do that for the next one.
That's a good idea, right?
That could be fun, right?
Yeah, we'll throw in a
Bandcamp roulette, man.
Yeah, Bandcamp roulette.
That's actually the reason I like vinyl so much, like so much better than even CDs, because you get that 12 inches of image that you can hold in your hand. I don't know. I just haven't ever really been able to get into digital. I mean, I do a little bit, but like I love having something I can hold in my hands and just
you can hang it up too.
It like listening to the music. Yeah,
it doubles
or you
as
can
a
be
poster.
fancy and buy frames.
I just made those, but like you can hang like it's like I think it's cool. Like a record like almost double. It can double as literally a poster or like a picture, a painting, anything. It's like I have art in and of itself.
Yeah, I have a few like that too. Yeah, and then Michael. Have you ever, Jeff? I don't know if you checked out Michael's page, but he's got his YouTube channel. But he's got a video about how he like sleeves all of his vinyls and stuff, and it's intense.
Yeah, I'm a fucking psychopath.
I started doing that. I started buying the sleeves to keep them all protected.
He does.
I'm learning very slowly.
He has one for like the record itself, one for the sheet, one for the whole, like the holder. Oh man, he goes
nice.
Yeah, I went out and bought all the shit. I haven't had the time to do it. They're all in boxes still.
Everything. Oh, dude, it takes forever. That's why I have a pile of records behind me that haven't been done yet, because I have to clean them first, and then everything gets sleeved, and then they all get put into a sleeve. Yeah.
Do you have one of those really fancy washer machine, like record cleaner machines?
I don't, because again, I'm a psychopath, and like I don't trust a machine to do it. I have to do it by hand. Like, and I realize like they probably get it way cleaner than I ever could, but yeah, it's just something I have to touch it.
You feel more in control, right?
Exactly.
There's there's like a meditative kind of vibe to like doing those types of things. I feel like too, like just going through the process.
It's all part of the experience for me.
There you go.
Therapeutic.
Back to Chris's pick. So
sorry,
my note simply says check imaging, because I have like nice headphones and stuff, but I wanted to bring it out here. If you've ever heard like on a good sound system, songs that are mixed really well, you don't just hear it from the left and the right. They wrap around you.
Mm-hmm.
And this song was doing that just in like my earbuds. So I wanted to see what it sounded like out here. I don't know. A good Chocolate Chip Trip by Tool. If you've ever heard it on like a really nice sound system, it wraps around you 360 degrees. It's immersive. And I feel like that's what this would sound if I wasn't so lazy and it wasn't so cold out here, and I'd have come out last night when I wrote this note to do it. But so I'm gonna have to do that later today. But it was just a rad sound. I really dug it. It would be like nice chill music if you're trying to relax.
All right, let's go for my X Factor. This comes out of Toronto. The band is called Call It Out, and the album is Anywhere But Here. Now this is straight up hard pop punk. I mean, this comes at you, female vocalist, melodic. It feels like there's a song on here that I wrote towards the end. It's called Here I Stand. Feels almost like 90s pop. So at first this band comes across very much with that punk, that rock, that pop sound. And then there are times where you can feel more pop than not. You know what I mean? I felt when I was listening to this one song, I just thought to myself, and I'm dating myself here now, man, but this almost feels like this could have been playing at Lilith Fair back in the day. Like I could hear that in this, but for me, I just thought this band was overall as a band, musically, you know, the talent was there. You could hear the music, the playing's great. The musicianship's there. The female's vocalist was great too. I've been just getting more and more into the female fronted bands lately. You know, it just feels like it's a slight change to some of that harder stuff we're used to listening to all the time, but they bring it too. They'll bring some of that passion, that oomph, you know what I mean? And I dig it and I love it. But Call It Out, when I started listening to them, I was like, I'm liking this, you know. And the more I listened to it, the more I liked it. It's one of those kinds of bands and albums where, you know, it caught me at first, but the more I kept listening, I'm like, I really like this. Like I could listen to this more and more, you know?
Complete versatility with this band. I love it. Everything about that. They definitely have a great sound, but that was my biggest takeaway, was like the versatility in their music that made me really enjoy it.
I had just like kind of fun, like shiny pop. It reminded me of kind of like Metric, Shiny Toy Guns, like some of those like kind of commercially successful sort of pop bands that had a little bit of a punk tinge to them, but have like that kind of shiny commercial pop punk sound, you know.
The opposite of the lo-fi we were talking about earlier. This is what we were talking about when we said it's not lo-fi, right? Like this is the highly produced. You can tell this was shiny. Yes. Yeah. But still, it was good. I enjoyed it. The more I think that's what for me, it's an X factor, because typically it's not something I just be like, oh wow, you know, this is what I'm going out or I'm buying this. But the more I kept listening, I'm like, there's things to this. There's different parts to each of these songs that this song I like this, or this song, oh look at the way this stands out. You know what I mean?
Right on.
I wrote unrepentant female fronted pop punk, and then I have a little note that says Avril. Am I the only one that drew that?
Yeah. No, I get that.
That's a good callback.
That. Yeah.
And I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. Like Avril was a super talented artist and still is. So yeah, they're on a good track, I think.
Nice.
Dude, Michael,
there you go.
I thought
and
that was
also Canadian.
Yeah.
And Canadian.
Michael, I thought there was a raccoon in your garage. There's a cat. I was like, whoa.
That's my three-legged cat named Tripod, who jumps on everything.
He was digging that Anti-Flag album. All right, Jeff, you're up.
He wanted to give his review of of that record. All right, cool. Yeah. So my local, I did the band In the Meantime. I have known a couple of the dudes in that band for a long time, and they're great people. Dan Levy is like one of the nicest human beings I've had the pleasure of hanging out with. He's just such a great guy. I've gone up to hung out with him at festivals, like been on he drove on a tour for the weekend. They like loaned OC45 their van on a tour I did with them a while back, and he like basically drove for us all weekend. Like he's a cool guy. But I love that band. That release that was a pandemic release, and I totally like slept on it. Embarrassingly, I just didn't listen to it and get into it, and it's really good. I love the sound on that record. It's just like really feel good kind of pop punk, melodic. I'd say maybe more like melodic punk than pop punk, just sort of like straight up punk. And I think obviously like one of the big tracks that stands out on that record is You're the Worst, which is a track that they did. I think that's Jenny Cotterill from Bad Cop singing with him on that track. It's a duet that they did, and it's like 3/4 time kind of like melodic punk anthem sort of. Lovers quarrel, kind of not even quarrel, but like just like it's like a punk love song. But I love that band. They just have a great sound. I think it's just it's a sound you just listen to them, you feel good. Dan's one of the most like positive people like to be around, and it just infiltrates into the music, I think, like really well.
Nice. I put tight. I loved it. It was tight. Like each of these songs is boom, tight, punches you. It's in there. And I also wrote, I could see myself skating to this back in the day. This was the kind of music we put on when we were skating back in the day.
I've heard of this band, and I never sat down to listen to them. I'm really happy you put this on your list, because I think one, they're a great representation of what the Boston punk scene is out here. Everything about it, like I just couldn't get enough of it. I just could not get enough of this one. I'm gonna, we talked about it a little bit, prior. We cheated and talked a little bit about it.
Yeah,
but
you
no,
should have him. You should definitely think about having him on the show.
Yeah, I think
he's a great dude.
Yeah, no, it definitely took me by surprise. Like I said, it was a band, like, you hear about a lot of bands that are local, you know what I mean? And I was like, yeah, they're on my list, and I have a list of bands that are like that I want to listen to. Like, I even have albums that I haven't even listened to yet that I've had, you know what I'm saying, for a while, and they were on the list of bands. So thank you for putting them on here.
Yeah, you're welcome. Yeah. So, Mike, did you have?
Yeah, I totally wrote Fat Wreck Skate Punk.
Yeah.
And that the vocals were fire on You're the Worst. Like, that song, the interplay of the vocals on that song was really good. And the standout moment on that album for me was the song Work, where it just slows down into this acoustic track, and then Play comes at you like just in your face, like you're not ready for the energy in Play after listening to Work. So I like listening to them in order. It's almost like People Go at records with a plan.
Yeah, they're also they're pro, like they're pro as fuck. They're like just a great band. My non-local, I chose These Roving Years. That record, that's right. There, my buddy April is in that band, and I don't know a ton about them, but I had April on my show, and she's really involved with Punk Rock Saves Lives, this organization that they go and they do a booth at lots of different shows and festivals and events and stuff like that, and they work a lot with like mental health awareness and mental health resources and stuff like that. And they, from what I understand, like some of the members of different bands that are all involved with Punk Rock Saves Lives, like kind of formed this band. And it's just like great kind of, I would say it's kind of like chuggy, like rolling, like punk rock, like kind of like roots punk, just sort of like a lot of like sing along gang vocal chorus parts and stuff like that. And just fun, just kind of like fun, energetic punk. And it's got that PMA vibe in the lyrics too. If you listen to a lot of the lyrics, it's very kind of like positive, affirming vibes with what they're singing about. So and I like the kind of the heavy gravelly vocals and stuff like that too.
Yeah, that's what I had on mine. It was positive, positive punk, and not that all, I mean, yeah, it definitely has that more positive vibe than I loved the vocals on it as well.
Yeah,
I actually whoop, go ahead, Chris.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I was just gonna say I put the hard edge vocals, love fast punk rock. This is definitely driving music.
I have I should watch what I say, because I'm actually volunteering at a show with Rob later this month. So I do volunteer work with Punk Rock Saves Lives when I can, and I am in their recovery group. So, and Rob is like the chairman of that, or co-chair of that, with his wife Tina. Great organization. But yeah, just a super positive album that has that I call it street punk. I mean, it has that like street punk chuggy sound with a message that you don't normally get from that sound. So I found it. I enjoy this album a lot.
Yeah, great vibes all around for sure. So yeah, so then my single I did Hey Nora by Jukebox Romantics. They're also homies for a long time, and I think they're super talented, just tight and pro, and just like really fun pop punk, like classic pop punk, kind of even like I'll go so far as to say like kind of emo-ish vibes on some of the stuff they do, but like just kind of a call for me. It's like a callback. It's a little bit like nostalgic almost listening to them, and just like it just kind of reminds me of listening to bands in high school and stuff like that, and just like really fun pop punk vibes on all their stuff. Their latest full-length album that they put out a couple of years ago, Sleepwalk Me Home, is fucking
So
fantastic. It's such a great record, like top to bottom. It's so much fun to listen to. It sounds great. And this new stuff that they're doing, I can't wait to hear more of it. It just sounds really fun and really like energetic and again, positive, just like with the positive vibes and stuff. They're being real goofy with their music videos that they've been doing for the songs and kind of like recreating old like 80s movies and old music videos and I love music videos. That's a whole other thing for me. Like that is an art form that is like really particular and very much not been popular the past decade or so.
Crazy.
And like it's something that I remember from high school and from growing up and being a kid. Like I felt like part of the reason I fell in love with music was music videos. So I will always have a soft spot in my heart for bands that do cool music videos. That's like a whole thing for me. And so I love the shit that they're doing with these music videos and stuff like that. It's great.
Yeah, this is the second time that single's been on this Bandcamp Friday thing, so that means you all have to go buy it, right?
It's a good tune, man. It's a good tune.
It's a
and it's
tune.
catchy as hell, man. Like that
Yeah.
chorus is just so catchy. It's really good. Loved it.
What I like about them, and I've said it before, like they do something different. Like they do something different with their music, and it sets it aside from other bands like that are similar, not similar in like the sense they sound, you know what I'm saying? Like they come from that, Chris, how did we describe it that time? It was like they're like Alkaline Trio sort of style.
I could see that for sure.
But there's another element that they add to it that makes it sound like, to me, stands out than those bands. Cause like there's bands out there that I know how good they are, but I just don't have room for them in my vault. And these guys made room in my vault. You know what I'm saying?
It's for me. It's like what Jeff was saying. It kind of brings you back to high school. It brings you back to those days. Blink 182 got big and it became this kind of like, oh, it's Blink 182, right? But like when they were first starting out, these were some hungry kids that played fun, like pop punk music, skate music, that it was about having fun and enjoying, the youth. And the Jukebox Romantics bring that back. Like they have that energy, and it just kind of brings back that old style high school punk days where you're just like, life's eternal. There's nothing that's ever wrong in the world. Put on the Jukebox Romantics. You know what I mean? That's what it's like.
Or everything's wrong with the world. Put on the Jukebox Romantics.
Yeah. There you go. There you go.
Like big Bouncing Souls, Alkaline Trio.
There you go.
Like big influences from all those bands. Yeah.
I've been loving this band. Actually, I just saw when I was going through my notes last night, they dropped a new single last night or yesterday, and it's really good as well. I can't wait for the album to come out. Yeah, I don't have anything to add though. They're awesome.
What did he say, Trev, when he was on the show? They're kind of doing like the one single a month.
Yeah, I
every
think
few
so.
weeks or something for a while. Yeah.
Yep.
Which is a cool way to release a record. Dave Haas has been doing that with the new one that he's putting out. I think he's been releasing just like a new single every few weeks or whatever.
Yeah.
So then my X Factor was this band Dead Broke they are from Canada. They're from Toronto. And I discovered them. They're another band that I discovered at fests, either at Fest down in Florida or at Poozah Fest. I think it was actually at Fest the first time I saw them, but they're that one band that every time Fest comes around, they play those festivals a lot, and every time I'm at Fest or I'm at Poozah, like none of my other friends like are into them, but I'll just go by myself and go off to like whatever show that they're playing and just check them out, because they just put on a super great live show. They're just like really animated on stage, like really in your face, like really, really fun. And it's just like for me, it's kind of like, it's punk, but it's like a refreshing, different. It's got that gritty, a little bit more lo-fi, like we were talking about before. I had wrote in my notes that there were like some similarities to one of the other ones we did. Which one was it? It was Mallwalkers.
Yeah.
They like some similarities there. just having that kind of like that gritty, a little bit like the overdriven vocals, and some more like indie rock kind of vibes in there. And so they're just like a super fun band to see. I haven't heard anything from them. So they put out it's an EP Druids that they put out in 2020, and I hope there's more coming soon. I haven't heard anything like more from them recently, but as far as I know, like they're still a band, and I'm hoping that they keep putting out more music because they're great.
Isn't that the worst? You find a band and you're like, man, they're amazing. Oh, they broke up. Shit.
Yeah,
like you're late to the party. You know what
you're
I
like,
mean?
oh, they put this out in 2014. Damn it!
Yeah,
like they're probably not around anymore.
Yeah. I put on here. I loved it. This was different than the other picks that you had. The new, I could feel that new wave indie punk thing in there. Like there was this kind of new wave sound with it. This also kind of reminds me of a band. Have you guys ever heard of the band? I know I told you this, Trev. Lily. They're spelled Liily.
Yeah, you told. I don't think I ever did. Unless you sent it to me, I probably didn't listen to it yet.
Now, I don't know if I sent it to you, but I saw them open for a band. They were here opening, and they just blew me away how good they were. And this is kind of what they remind me of. They kind of sound like this. And so, yeah, I'm totally down for Dead Broke. I'm going to be looking into this band as well. Hopefully looking in for new music coming up.
I'm going to check out Lily too.
I wrote down badass, check out more. That's what I had for my notes. So I must have been driving when I was listening to that one.
My notes are 3 exclamation marks.
Yeah.
Just real big. So apparently I liked it, but I think I listened to this like a few weeks ago or a week ago, and I can't recall it. But yeah, I need to listen to it again because I have 3 exclamation points, which seems like it's good, or I really didn't like it. I don't know. Who knows? I need a conversion chart for my symbols.
1 exclamation point equals liked it. 2 exclamation points equals.
All right, man. We just got through everyone's list. All right. And then last night, something happened. I got an email notification that an album just dropped on Bandcamp. And I immediately went and bought it because I am crazy like that. And I'm super happy that I did. And then I was like, after listening, it was an EP. And after listening to it the first time around, I listened to it a second time. I was on a long drive from like New Britain, Connecticut, back here. But I said, after the second time, I sent a message to you guys and I said, we're going to do an honorable mention. So if you have an album that, just it didn't make the list for whatever reason, you can bring it in now. And I'm going to do mine first. Danny Carney, Chainsaw Symphony, Raw Safety. This is a reissue. I guess this was a 2007 album, and he just kind of reissued it onto Bandcamp last night. And let's face it, if Danny Carney put out an album with a kazoo, a play school guitar, and a fart machine, I'd listen to it. Like everything I've heard from him from back with Roll the Tanks to now, like he's embedded himself into my brain. Like he can do no wrong. This album was awesome, hands down. And I recommend everyone to go listen to it. Listen to all of his stuff. Listen to Roll the Tanks. If you've never heard of them, yeah, that's my honorable mention.
I came across this artist just recently. One of my scroll and discovers, right? It's an artist out of Wisconsin. His name is Buffalo Nichols, Nichols, Buffalo Nichols. If you're a fan of old Delta blues, like the old school Delta blues, like 1930s, you're going to like this. This dude is bringing that style of playing back, and his voice is just something else, man. It's just a chill, really cool blues style. And when I say blues, I'm talking about the old blues, not like, not the updated kind of like rockin' blues. This is old Delta blues right here. I loved it. He just put the album out, came out October 15th. It's 8 songs. You can get it on vinyl. You can get it on CD. You can get it on cassette. Yeah. I don't know. I can't even speak enough. I've been listening to it nonstop for the past couple of days. It's just one of these, like, because I'm a huge fan of blues. I love the old blues stuff, and man, I'm telling you, if you love it, this is going to be your jam. This will be your shit.
Also, I forgot to mention the name of the EP. I pulled a Chris. I was so excited about it. It's called Raw Safety. So Danny Carney, Chainsaw Symphony, Raw Safety is the EP that dropped yesterday.
I wasn't prepared for this one, so I'm just going to push the same band I've been pushing for the past month, Dog Party. They are on Asian Man Records. If you caught an Anti-Flag show on the first leg of the tour. They are playing with them, and it is, again, that lo-fi garage, super distorted sound. It's just two girls. You would not believe the amount of sound these tiny humans can put out. Like, I saw them play live. I bought their one album, and then like the next day picked up the rest of their catalog. Well, that I could. Their latest album's called Hit and Run. Super good. And if you get a chance, if you're out west, I think they're pretty much regional when they're not on a supporting tour. They are from California. Dog Party.
Yeah, I got on them after hearing your promotion of them. I was like, I gotta listen to this. Loved them.
Dude, I've just been digging that sound lately. I don't know if it's fall. I just want to go back to the 70s or something. I don't know. Not go back, I guess go. I've never been there.
Oh man, I was indecisive enough about, so my honorable mention was gonna be, I was super indecisive about who I wanted to pick for my local pick. Yeah. And so my honorable mention was going to be another local band. And now that you just mentioned that band, it reminded me of another band that I really so I'm going to cheat and sneak in two honorable mentions.
Do what you got to do.
My first honorable mention was going to be the band Oh the Humanity, also kind of homies of mine that I had on the show, and another fantastic local Boston band with a totally different sound. They have like much more of a hardcore, like a heavy kind of like screamo hardcore kind of sound with like these like real crazy guitar solos and guitar licks that Chris does in there that like it just, I don't even know, they like almost remind me more of like a metal band type of guitar solos and stuff like that. And it's just got this like heavy kind of screamo-y sound. I mean, it's punk, but it's like crosses that punk hardcore line really well. And I've always they're also just like super nice guys, also pro as fuck. All of their records that they put out sound amazing. They put a lot of time and effort into like recording them really well, and they also have that slight nostalgic sound for me, like that reminds me of like being younger and listening to bands in high school that I liked and stuff like that always like kind of you know was enjoyable for me to listen to. But you were just mentioning this band Raw Dog, who I really want to check out. And when you said the amount of sound that can come out of tiny humans, it reminds me of the band Molly Rythm. And so Molly Rythm is going to be my other honorable mention. They are a fantastic band from the Trenton / Philly area that has just this really cool sound. It's kind of like, they've got this like doomy metal twinge to, but also like a folk punk kind of sound. And they've always just been a fantastic band to see. I've seen them at a couple festivals again and on the road and stuff like that. And so they're my second honorable mention. I had to drop them in after you mentioned that other band, because that's just all it made me think of was Molly Rythm and Oh the Humanity.
Awesome. All the Humanity is really good too. Yeah. I've got something of theirs on vinyl.
They just put out a new record a few months back. So
yeah, for sure. Yeah. So well, this was like a success, right? Was this fun?
Yeah.
Was this fucking nerve-wracking? Because which was it?
I had fun, man. I always love talking music.
Yeah. All right, cool.
Yeah.
We should keep doing it like this. So I don't know. We'll find out. We'll figure it out.
I just now realized that those are not pictures around Chris. Those are pop vinyls. You have the largest collection of pops that I've ever seen in my life.
Oh yeah.
I asked him if he was a distributor, because he goes to like events and sells.
Holy shit.
I said when he first came on, it looks like a comic book store that we have here in Somerville that I was in the other day. It's great.
So this is an upstairs bedroom that the entire room used to have all this stuff on the walls, and then we turned it into a bedroom and then all the stuff came off the walls, and now it's just in this little closet. And I took the doors off the closet so I can just set up here and do my videos when I do YouTube here. So
when you have guests over, $1,000 are staring at them.
Well, not anymore, but yeah, it could have been.
That's a great idea for a setup for a background. It's fantastic.
Yeah, I gotta work on mine. My background's weak as hell.
I do too. Yeah.
I like yours, dude. Yours is professional. Mine's just my fucking living room. I was gonna whatever. Next time it will look a little different now that we're gonna be doing these. So plug your guys' stuff. What's coming up next? What do you have going on? Oh, by the way, go to Bandcamp, search Jeff Bousquet, pick up World on Fire while you're at it.
There you go.
Which I think we mentioned that in the first episode of this, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, thank you. Appreciate
Yeah,
that.
seriously.
So what's going on? You guys have anything coming up? Anybody? Next episode? We want to promote an episode you got going on right now?
I'm trying to bring the podcast back as soon as I can. There's a few things I just got to hammer out. And I also realized that the last season I was doing was, you know, in the midst of kind of still pandemic pause. So now that I'm back to work and stuff like that, it's just a lot harder to get back to doing it, but it's coming soon, hopefully.
This will be like your bonus leading in, right? You're gonna post this?
Sure. Yeah, definitely. This was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And an excuse to talk on a microphone again.
Michael, you want to tease anything coming up on the Punk is Folk channel?
No, I don't go into things with a plan.
Neither do I, bud. That's why we're
I have
doing
a
this.
I have a YouTube channel, Punk is Folk. I post videos generally about music or audio gear once a week when I feel like it. So don't hold me to it. Sometimes more than that if I get something ratting. Punk is Folk, or check me out on Instagram. I do have some exciting records coming up though.
Mr. Chavez?
Oh man, you can find me on my million other podcasts. I do a bunch of them, and I'm not going to go into all of them. If you want to check it out, you want to check out any other shows on the network. The website is bicbp-radio.com. There's a ton of talented folks putting out shows, good content out there. So go check it out. My other show that I do, Bandcamp, that one time at Bandcamp, new episode will be coming on Monday, and hopefully we keep it on the Monday track. Like Jeff's saying, man, life gets crazy, work gets in the way. And so sometimes, you have the intention to have it out there, and it's like, oh man, Monday came and went. I better put it out now. So no, new episode coming Monday, that one time at Bandcamp.
How do we
Nice.
how do we usually end these? I forgot.
We just say peace out.
Wait,
I don't know, man. We're just like, yo.
Are we plugging the Get Punk? Can I do your spot for Get Punk? Because I've been practicing this shit.
Yeah, you want to do my Get Punk spot, man? Go ahead. Yeah, let's hear
Hey
it.
guys, this is Trev from the Struggling Artist Podcast. I just want to tell you about this sweet site, getpunk.com. He carries all the sweetest punk vinyls, and I think everybody here has ordered from him. And if you use the code STRUGGLE at checkout, you get 10% off. So go get yourself some vinyls. I don't know.
That's awesome. That was a pretty good impression. I had my friend from years ago. She actually came up recently and she did an impression of me. And I said, I don't sound like Marge Simpson. And she's like, you're right. You sound like Selma. And I was so fucking distraught over that. But Michael, you just did a great impression of me. And I appreciate that. So.
I just like throwing the vinyls in there.
Nice.
Trev, I was going to record my bumper for you after this.
Yeah.
And you asked me for that. So can we all do bumpers and then also getpunk.com spots?
If you want to do it.
Guess. But we all have to do our best impression of you.
Yeah.
That's what I'm gonna do.
Man. Thank you. Hey,
that's gonna be great.
If you guys want to do this again, man, we'll talk. I'm gonna say goodbye right now, and we're gonna keep talking for a second. So, that was it for Bandcamp Friday, November 1st or November first week in November or whatever it is. If Bandcamp gives up what they're doing, we're gonna keep this. I think we're gonna keep this going. And, we'll see where it lands. Maybe we can get like 50 people in here all recommending shit.
Jesus, it's a whole day.
We'll just have to mute Chris so he doesn't describe every album.
A 6-hour live stream.
All right,
talking about one album.
Oh, hey guys, check out Bandcamp. Check out all this stuff. Check out everyone's podcast, and go buy some albums. We'll talk to you soon.